I love that. Okay, it is the top of the, oh, finally somebody put a picture up. I love that. Alexis, you're brave. I love that. I like to see smiling faces when I'm training. Anyway, today's topic is extremely important because when you're involved in recruiting, you know, our job, we've pretty much been feeling like hamsters on wheels. I think we all have, because there's so many jobs we're trying to fill. It's hard to find talent. And so what we're going to talk about today is how do you triple your employee referrals? You know, how do you get more referrals? Because I firmly believe that if you've been a recruiter for more than, say, 18 months to 2 years, I believe that 40% of the people that you hire should be referrals, or that you place in jobs should be referrals. And so that's why we're addressing this topic today. I did 11 conferences in the last 3 months, and it's interesting because I would always ask how many of your hires are referrals, and there's such a low percentage. And that's why I actually was at a RecruitCon conference not that long ago. That was one of my conferences. And I told them that I would do a program for them based on their hiring process. And then they kept asking me, well, what about referrals? Can you do a program on referrals? So you're basically benefiting by a promise I made to the attendees at RecruitCon that I would do a second webinar, because I just think this topic makes our job so much easier. And right now we could all use a break. We could all use things to be easier. So I'm going to start out with a question for all of you. And that is, are 40% of your new hires a result of employee referrals? If not, I have to ask you why. You know, in this competitive job market that we're working in, the best candidate, you and I both know, the best candidate for many of our jobs are not conducting an active search. They're not. They're too busy doing a great job for their current employer. However, those passive candidates are often open to discuss an opportunity that represents their next career move. I've done courses for LinkedIn Learning, and so I watch their surveys often on what they're saying. And it's amazing that most people update their LinkedIn profile within a matter of 2 days after they accept a new job, that they're keeping their eyes and ears open. So, you know, that's who we have to go after. Job boards and website postings and any kind of postings that you're doing, that's only attracting 15% of the workforce. 85% of the workforce are represented by the people we're talking about right now. The people that are out there, they're working, they're doing a job, but are they open to look at another opportunity? Yes. Someone did not mute their lines. Please mute your background noise. I do hear someone talking, so please mute your background noise.
I'm not sure who they are. I have received email and
okay, can somebody please mute your lines? I hear somebody talking, and we need lines muted. A strong employee referral program greatly enhances your recruiting efforts, period. There's an established level of trust with the person who is referred. I compare what we do to dating a lot. If somebody introduces me to somebody, I would feel very comfortable maybe going to dinner with them. But if I'm in a bar, I'm someplace out and meet somebody, I would be a little leery because I don't know the person. It's that same thing when we're reaching out to candidates. If they're referred by somebody, they trust the person who referred them. And so it's a much easier process for you and I. The onboarding process is easier because also the new hire knows another employee. And what happens when you have your employees referring people, they unofficially help mentor this new hire. And that's why employee referral programs are so important. Now, why most companies do not generate employee referrals? Because I think, you know, many people were like, I have an employee referral program. But the truth of the matter is, if I went to any of your employees, do they even know about it? Like, do they know how they benefit by it? Because people only care about how they're going to benefit. You know, most companies don't generate employee referral programs for these 4 reasons. The referral program is not treated as a priority. You've got one, but it's not a priority. Employees don't understand the what's in it for them. The third thing, and this is one of the biggest things, is there's not enough recognition. You might think, well, you know, you've got to pay for referrals, and yes, you should be doing something for referrals, but recognition, especially if you've got, you know, millennials or Gen Z working for you, you know, they're all about recognition. They're all about being recognized. And I want you to understand something, that millennials and Gen Z now represent 57% of the workforce. That's as of July of this year. They're going to be 57% of the workforce. And by 2025, they're going to be 70% of the workforce. 70% of the workforce will be millennials. So do you need to start networking with that generation because they're going to be representing most of your referrals? The answer is yes. Also, the program is not continually monitored and upgraded. When is the last time you upgraded your employee referral program? You know, is it exciting? Does everybody know about it? Your current employees are either your army of recruiters or they're being recruited away by your competitors. And I want you to think about that for a minute. Everyone who works for you currently is either part of your army of recruiters, and they're out there telling everybody what a great place you are to work and why you should come and work for this company too, because we're just a great place to work, or they're being recruited away. Another great question you need to answer is, if your employees are fulfilled, if they love your company and they love their job, why are they not referring top talent from their professional and personal networks? Your employees are more networked right now than anybody has ever been. Everybody is more networked right now than they've ever been. You know, you should even be getting referrals from people you interviewed that you didn't hire. If their candidate experience was positive, this is one of those nuggets that's not on your handout. You've got to really look at the experience of candidates that apply for a job with you. I always tell every employer that I talk to, try to apply at your job online and see how cumbersome is it. Is it friendly? Do I feel like I'm going to end up in a deep, dark hole somewhere? The candidate experience is critical. Your employee experience is critical if you're going to get referrals from them. Referral bonuses, and oh, hold on one second, please. Hold on one second. Not going to admit, I probably should not admit to you what just happened, but I have been out of town and I just had a notice pop up on my laptop that my battery is running low. So yeah, this would have just totally disappeared. I forgot to plug in my laptop. I'm sorry. So apologize for that interruption, but let's get back to our program. Bonuses and compensation aren't the only or major contributing factor to the success of your employee referral program. People do things for their own reasons, not yours. And they've got to understand how it benefits them by providing referrals. I have a company that I know of that if somebody gives a referral, they actually go out to dinner with the owner of the company. Their whole family does. And the owner just takes them out to dinner wherever the family's favorite restaurant is to not only reward the employee, but to reward the family, the recognition. Let's talk about other must-haves of the most effective employee referral programs. And these are common denominators. I've helped many companies set up employee referral programs because I can't think of one that I saw that was really working effectively other than Southwest Airlines, because Southwest Airlines really worked at it. And every one of their employees has like boarding passes. And, you know, their program has the theme, they really do a lot of recognition for referrals. And so Southwest had a great referral program. Other than them, I've almost always really made major changes in most of the programs I reviewed. And I want to give you the 5 must-haves of most employee referral programs. Number one, the referral program is assigned to a specific person. It can't be the responsibility of HR. Everything is the responsibility of HR. You know, and if you've put a referral program as part of the HR department, okay, with the pressure that's on HR right now, whether it's engagement, retention, recruiting, you know, organizational development, there's so many things going on in HR right now. There's more importance. I think those of you that are in HR and talent acquisition, you know, kudos to you because you are the heart of your company. You are the heartbeat. I say this to executives all the time that tell me that HR is overhead. I go, no, it's not. HR is the heart of your company. Without them, you don't have people. Without people, you don't have a company. But you can't just say HR is going to handle the employee referral program. One person has to be assigned, you know, and assigning a person to manage and promote a referral program shows a strong commitment to the effort, and it's greatly going to enhance your success. You know, this individual will survey current employees to see what motivates them to provide referrals of future employees. What is it? Is it a company parking place? Is it time off? You know, is it travel? Is it recognition? You know, what is it? What would really turn people on to give you referrals? A referral card is created that employees can carry in their wallet or purse, making it very convenient to promote referrals when they're out socially. Again, Southwest Airlines had the boarding pass. Now, many of your employees might be working virtually. You might say they're not seeing that many people right now. Give them something they can easily forward to someone. What could they have that they could easily forward in an email or send in a text to someone? Give them something that makes referring another person very easy. This individual also develops when and how referral bonuses are paid. Often the best programs I've noticed, the payout up front without multiple payouts over a period of time. So what you want to do is when somebody gives you a referral, You give them some type of bonus when the person is hired, but then, you could give them 33% of it on the day of the hire and 33% of it after 6 months and then 33% of it after 1 year. When you do this, you've got an unofficial mentor because the person has a vested interest. They have a vested interest in this person succeeding. They might not be appointed as a person's mentor, but they want to get the last third of their referral fee. And again, there's other things I want you to think about. Okay, I hear somebody's voice. Please make sure that you mute your lines. You've got to mute your lines when you come on. So, what is it that would appeal to your employees, the age bracket, the type of employees that you hire? Number 2 is ongoing training is provided. Your employees all have personal and professional networks. Every one of them do. They must, however, receive training on your referral program. And again, focus on the what's in it for them if they refer someone who's hired. Employees are trained how to increase their referrals. If you want, if you're just going to say, well, gee, we want this to be better, it's not enough to want it. You've got to take steps. You've got to do specific things to make sure that your program now becomes a priority and everybody understands it. They see how they can benefit and they understand how to do it. Employees are taught how to obtain referrals at trade shows. Trade shows and conferences are now back. They're being held. And if you've got people that are attending trade shows, there's no better place to network than a trade show or a conference. Employees need to receive an updated list of all the current talent that you need. And what credentials do those people need to have? Because you don't want to go out and tell your employees to give you referrals, and then they're giving you referrals that are not the caliber you're going to hire, or they're not what you need. And then they stop giving referrals because they're not getting hired. You've got to arm your employees with a 30-second pitch. We hire blank who blank so they can blank. Fill in those blanks. We hire engineers who are looking to advance in their career so they can learn new things and make more money. I just threw that out there. But they have to have a very simple 30-second pitch, because when people say, gee, everybody asks, who you are, what do you do? And they can tell them what they do. And also, we hire blank who blank so they can blank. You show that person in 30 seconds how you can benefit them if they decide to come and work for your company. Employees are asked to think of talent they've worked with at all their past jobs, not just their most recent job. I think the best way to get your employees to give you referrals is say that I used engineering as an example. Who was the best engineer at your last place of employment? Who was the best IT developer at your last place of employment? Who was the best secretary? Who was the best nurse? When you ask people for referrals, they don't even think about their last places of employment, and they have no loyalty to their past employer anymore. They're loyal to you. So when you use those 6 words from your last place of employment, they will think of people that they can refer to you. And if they see the benefit in doing it, okay, now they're going to be much more apt to do it. And employees are taught to interact with this person after hired. When somebody refers an employee to you, if they're hired, you have to have a follow-up process in place where that employee stays in touch with that new employee. I heard a statistic the other day that was very upsetting. And it was a statistic thrown out by LinkedIn. And it was something like 36% of all people that accept a new job quit within the first 6 months. And they're not handing in a 2-week notice. They're coming to work one day, they go to lunch and just don't come back. Or they leave for the day on a Friday afternoon and Monday, they just don't show up and no phone call, no anything. And there's the last webinar I did on hiring, is it sabotaging engagement and retention? If you signed up for that one, please listen to that recording because I showed you how to avoid that from happening. But on the referral side of this, if I refer somebody and my company hires them, I can't just ignore them. I've got to keep in touch with them. I've got to let them know how happy I am that they're a part of our company. You've got to set up a process where the referring person is reminded to keep in touch with that person that they referred. Now, obviously, they have a vested interest if they weren't paid their full referral fee, but you want them to nurture, because a person would be much more apt to complain to someone who referred them or share something they might not share with their boss. And that helps retention and engagement, and so it is important that this person also develops some way, how are the employees going to interact with their referral once they're hired. Number 3, metrics are kept, reviewed, and revised. I'm a big numbers person. I've been in sales my whole life. And I know that there's one thing I can depend on, and that's that numbers don't lie. Metrics will reveal the strengths and weaknesses of your referral program. A consistent review of internal referral program will guarantee timely revisions to just improve your results. So monitor what strategies are most effective. Review the referral program every 6 months, include employees in the review process, survey employees to initiate needed revisions. If your company is not doing stay interviews, I'm not, I'm going to get to that later in this program. That's something that will really help your metrics and really help increase referrals. Number 4 is recognition. Recognizing the contributions that employees make towards your referral program helps solidify relationships and fosters employee engagement and loyalty to your company. Also, when someone accepts a new job with you, they're very excited about accepting a new job with you. If you get them to refer people when they're hired, they're much less likely to quit in their first 6 months. That's one of the ways to improve engagement and retention is get referrals from your new hires. They all know people and they're excited when they first come to work for you. And so make sure that you're asking for referrals of the new hires you make. And especially if they give you a referral from their current employer, once they quit, once they resign, if they give you a referral, like one of their current coworkers, they're not going to accept a counteroffer. So that also helps them not accept a counteroffer. We are all wired differently, and not every individual needs public recognition, but even the most introverted person appreciates some kind of recognition for their efforts. Recognition, again, addresses that what's in it for me, in addition to whatever bonuses or incentives that you're going to offer. Recognition is given to the referee employee, can include plaques, pictures in the newsletter, thank you notes from executives, or even lunch with the executives of the company. If you've got on-site employees, a parking place that's handy. It could be, you pay their transportation, their commuting. If they're doing public transportation, the bonus could be 90 days of free commuting or a month of free daycare. I mean, what is going to appeal to the people that work for you? You've got to know your employees. Annual or quarterly bonuses or contests. Some of the most effective employee referral programs that I've been a part of, and I do the exact same thing in my organization, they offer a larger event, a gift or prize that can be won by anybody who referred a new employee in the past quarter or year. And this can include attending an exclusive event, winning a larger prize or a trip. Individuals receive 1 ticket for every employee they referred that were hired. So the more people that they referred, the better chances of getting these larger bonuses or contests. But, again, if you have a contest, and even if you gave something like a flat screen TV, or you gave a Beats, Beat headphones, or, anything that would appeal, again, look at the age bracket of the people that work for you. And if you make a big deal over this quarterly, contest, and anybody that referred someone who was hired and has been retained gets a ticket, you'd be amazed. Attention, nobody likes to be left out. It's important to implement all 5 areas. I gave you 5 areas just now. So it's not enough just to have a quarterly bonus. It's not enough to do that. Let's review them. It has to be assigned to a specific person, not just HR. There has to be ongoing training to show your employees how to ask for them. You have to teach them that 30-second pitch to show the other person how they can benefit them. You've got to keep metrics. You've got to review them. There's got to be recognition. And then if you really want to knock it out of the park, have some type of annual bonus. We give a trip away every year. And at the end of every year, we ask everybody where they want to go the next year. And they pick the place. And we do a 4-day, 3-night stay for them and somebody else at a place of their choice. We'll pick it at the end of the year. And we talk about it. We have posters, we remind everybody about the trip that they can win. And it could be someone that referred 1 person or someone that referred 10 people, because everybody participates if they give a referral that was hired. But again, if you want a strong employee referral program, it has to have all 5 of these things. Maybe not the big bonus. I guess the last one isn't a necessity, but it'll get attention. It will get attention. Now let's talk about stay interviews. Too often companies only conduct 2 interviews. They conduct the employment interview and the exit interview. In this market, you don't even get a chance to conduct an exit interview because people are not giving 2-week notices. Like, it amazes me how many people go to lunch and don't come back. They just don't come back. Stay interviews are conducted with employees to assess their job satisfaction, really asking them why they stay with your company. Why do you like working here? Your goal is to learn what makes your company a great place to work and where you may need to improve to increase engagement and retention. The stay interview is not done by a supervisor. It's done by, a peer that is at a higher level than them. And it's done off premise. It's done at lunch. If you've got your employees remote, if they're local remote, take them out to lunch and just ask them what they like. Remote people are starting to feel very isolated. And it's being proven now that remote employees are starting to turn over because of the isolation. And yet sometimes they'll go to another remote position and you're like, well, why? Because they didn't feel like their opinions counted, or there's not that instantaneous collaboration that happens when you're in an office environment. And so you've got to make sure that that type of collaboration is still going on with your remote employees. But stay interviews are amazing. What they also do is they help you build trust with your employees. It increases communication, especially with your virtual employees, and allows a mutual conversation that provides you with information that you need to then take to make positive changes. It's often more effective if stay interviews are not conducted by their direct supervisor, but rather a peer. This does not want to come across that it's a performance review. It's not. And if you have an online application process, I'm doing some consulting for a company right now, and they said that they just are not, they're expanding, they're almost doubling in size. And they go, nobody is even reacting. We're doing massive advertising. Even when we recruit somebody, we put them through our process, Barb, they're not finishing it. And I said, so let me apply at your company. It took me over 3 hours to apply at their company. It was ridiculous. And the only reason I spent all the time was because I was doing consulting for this company. So I did it. Never once did I feel like a person cared. Never once. I'd finish one thing, I'd get another. I'd finish one thing, I'd get another. 2 days later, I'd get another, but it was all emails. And what I said to them, I said, even at the beginning of your online application process, if when I went to click on the application, a video popped up from someone and said, hi, we're so welcome. We don't welcome you here. We would love to have you become part of our team. Now we're going to put you through a process that's going to be a few steps of paperwork. And we know this is necessary, but we guarantee you're going to hear back from us. Because if candidates are not having a positive experience when they interview with you or they apply with your company for a job, they're never going to refer anybody else. The candidate experience is more important than it's ever been ever before. And so stay interviews are another way of showing your employees, I just want to know why you like working here. Why do you like working here? Are you willing to make a video that we can put online? Imagine if you're trying to let's think about something that's high volume. What if you have a call center? You got to hire people constantly. It's high volume and it's very high turnover. And you're just beside yourself having to fill all these jobs. How effective would it be if several people in your call center made videos say, this is a great place to work. Let me tell you why. And you put those videos out there online. Your employees telling other people why you're a great place to work is more powerful than anything you could do. Every talent acquisition department should be working to get informal videos that are made by employees on their mobile devices. They're not professionally made. They're just telling people why they enjoy working there. Or if you do any after hour activities. Millennials and Gen Z like to hang out with their coworkers. If you've got a softball league, a baseball league, if you volunteer at philanthropic causes, make sure those videos are online, because videos will help you get more referrals. They just will. During stay interviews, uncover what they feel they want improved. And this could include communication or collaboration or negotiating or leadership or adaptability, or how to understand in reports if they want to get into management. When your employees continue to develop and advance within your company, they will be more engaged and more inclined to provide you with referrals. If they see a career path, you don't want your employees out there on Indeed constantly seeing what else is out there. When you get them as part of your army of recruiters and you're having them, help you bring people in, but they've also got to know their career path. And during stay interviews, you're asking them what they want to do next. Do they have talents they're not using? An engaged employee is going to refer people to you. If you're not getting employee referrals, your employees could be updating their LinkedIn profile and on Indeed every day. Remember, your employees are either your army of recruiters or they're being recruited away. If they're passionate about their job with you, they should be giving you referrals if they see how they can benefit by this. One of the greatest, again, recruiting tools is to have your employees make videos. And this is almost too formal. You don't need a little stand. When you share videos on social media, it's amazing how many more referrals you get. It just is. Imagine if one of your employees just said, you said to them, would you put something on social media, why you love working here? And they put it out to all their contacts, and and your employees are using many different sites. They're not just using the top three, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. They're not just using them. They're using all kinds of other, what if somebody did a TikTok video about what a great place your company was to work for? Can you imagine if something like that went viral? What if they're Snapchatting something about you? Get your employees to realize, make it fun, make it enjoyable, and let them see again how they benefit. And again, let's talk about the impact of the candidate experience. I do calls for job seekers once a week. They don't know who I am and they don't know what I do, which makes it fun because they complain about us all the time because they don't know what I do for a living. Those recruiters, and the truth of the matter is most people that apply at your company, they feel like a number. They just feel like a number. Every candidate you interview must have a positive candidate experience, whether you hire them or not, whether you place them or not. If they don't, they might stop buying your products or services, or worse, share their negative experience with potential hires. I want you to think about something. People are less inclined to talk about the good and more inclined to talk about the bad. I hear a dog barking. Can someone please mute their lines? I do hear a dog barking. So if you can mute the line, please. Again, every candidate that you interview, whether you hire them or not, should feel that they were treated with respect, and they should understand why you didn't hire them, what was missing, what can they do to maybe apply with you down the road? What can they do to apply with you? Is there something they could do? What's missing? You got to let them know what's missing, because then if they do it, they could be a great employee in a year from now. And so really pay attention to what is the candidate experience. I don't want you to only think about your current employees. Think about everybody you're interviewing. Are they sending you referrals? If I applied with you for a job and you didn't hire me, what would I say about you to other people? I was on a panel with a VP of HR from a huge pizza chain, and she said, "It's bad." I go, "What?" She said, when we don't respond to people that apply with us, they quit buying our pizza. You don't even know what it's costing your company. People have a tendency of sharing bad experience, unfortunately, because people are kind of inclined to complain in this day and age. They're much more inclined to put something out there that's negative than positive. Think about yourself. If you used a dry cleaner, you don't get online and tell everybody what a great dry cleaner you have. But if you took your best silk blouse to a dry cleaner and they ruined it, you tell the people in the dry cleaner, you tell the people in the parking lot, you tell the people at work if you're working on site, because it was a negative experience. We've got to give them positive things to talk about. The people that you interview have to hear from you. The people that apply with your company have to realize why they're not being hired. At least an email, even if it's a templated response. Wouldn't it be great if they got a video from your company when they applied? We're so sorry this did not work out right now. We would love, we're going to keep your file, whatever you're going to do. Wouldn't it be great if they got a video when they're not hired? Again, I'm trying to give you the best of the best. I can't give you everything I know about employee referral programs today, but I'm trying to give you the key information that if you implement anything that I'm teaching you today, you'll get more employee referrals. And I believe that every one of you, 40% of your hires or the people you place in jobs should be referrals. If that's not your reality right now, then you got to change something. You can't go back and do things the same way and expect to get different results. And the most important thing you could do, if you're going to do one thing, put somebody in charge of them and give them the recording of this and let them start working at this. Let them start working at this. Now, if you enjoyed this training, the information that I gave you today, and I'm going to open this for questions very shortly. This is less than 3% of the information that I've included in a talent acquisition tutor. I've been asked by so many corporations to train their talent acquisition teams over the last 2 years that what I did is I spent the first quarter of this year in a studio just giving everything I know about how to train talent acquisition people to source and recruit and interview and help engagement and retention and referrals. And because I've done so much of this, I've been doing this for 25 years, but everything's changed in the last couple of years. We all know that, the mindset has changed. The job market has changed, the remote working situation, everything we're doing has changed. So if you enjoyed today's training, I would welcome you to at least investigate this. It's 10 days of training. And what's beautiful about this, it's not just 10 days of training for your new hires. It's 10 days of training for anybody involved in talent acquisition. Plus, I do 2 live calls a month. So if you sign up for our tutors, they get a webinar like you just saw here. They get this once a month and I answer questions. And another time a month, I just get on the phone and say, "Hi, it's Barb Bruno. What questions do you have for me?" If you want to improve your intake process, if you want to proactively recruit the best, fill open requisitions faster, and fine tune your team's negotiating and closing skills. And we've got to quit accepting the fact that there's going to be counteroffers. I shouldn't say this, I should knock on wood. I've not had one counteroffer accepted in almost 18 months because there's things you can do that stop counteroffers and no-shows and offer turndowns and all the nightmares that everybody's dealing with right now. We can't just accept that. If people go to lunch and walk off, you've got to look at why, not blame the millennials for everything. Poor millennials, they're blamed for everything. And they're going to be 70% of the workforce. Quit blaming them. Every time you point the finger at, well, it's just that generation, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. What can you change? So what I do, if you want to review the curriculum or you have questions or you want to speak to one of our experts, and again, this is a conversation, it'd be a 15-minute conversation for you to just tell us what your problems are and what you're trying to solve. We may be your solution, we may not, but it definitely would be worth a conversation. I'm also putting my personal email up there because we're launching this product in July, okay? And about 2 weeks ago, I did another webinar and told everybody that invested through June 30th, which is today, that they would get a 25% discount on this tutor. I'm also going to extend that deadline. Anybody that's here today, anybody that registered for this webinar, if you set up a call today, then if you invest sometime in July, we will still give you the 25% discount. Because I was gone for 3 days and my husband also had surgery. So I had to delay this call longer than I thought I was going to. And so, if anybody sets up a call, we'll keep track of anybody that sets up a call or emails us, and we'll make sure that you still get that 25% discount. What I want to do now is open the lines for questions. And I don't care if the question's about employee referral programs or anything else that's important to you. Every one of you is in a hot seat right now. Every one of you, it has challenges you've never seen before because the job market has never been what it is right now. Now I see 3 questions in chat. So let me go to chat first, and I'm going to answer the 3 questions I have in chat. And then if anybody wants to unmute their line and let's go to the chats. Let's see here. Okay. I got a really cute message from Tom Matthews, and you tell your father hi too. Let's see here. Loved all this, Barb. I've heard many times from our employees, they do not want to refer people in case the person gets hired and they underperform and it's bad look on the employee who referred them. How do I overcome this? Easy, I would say, but if you refer somebody like you, they're not going to underperform. And we've got a great training program, and it's not your responsibility to make them successful. If we hire somebody, it's our responsibility to train them. It's our responsibility to nurture them, onboard them, mentor them, and make them successful. The pressure is not on you. And so take the pressure off of them. Because I can understand this. I don't want to refer somebody because if they underperform, then you're going to blame me. No, what we would love is people just like you, compliment them. And you've got to let them know, your employees have to know the kind of jobs you're filling and what are the credentials you need. And another point I want to put out to all of you, this is not in the handout, get performance objectives when you're writing requisitions. That's missing. And that's the missing link to most of these engagement problems and most of the problems in filling requisitions. I'm tired of the laundry list of 15 things that they need in this requisition that's old. I ask people, give me 5 things. How are you going to judge this person? How are you going to evaluate them in 6 months to a year? If you clear up with your hiring manager how they're going to evaluate and really monitor this person after 6 months or a year, all of a sudden you realize that list, there's a disconnect between the list that they're asking for and how they're going to evaluate your candidate that they hire. And if you get performance objectives, 5 performance objectives, I share them with the candidate. It either excites the candidate more, the candidate goes, I don't want to be evaluated on that. Better I know that up front. So that's just something else. Barb, how do I get a recording of the first webinar? I did not sign up, but would like to see it. I tell you what, if you send me an email to my email address, I'll probably regret doing this, but if you send an email to the email address you've got on the screen and just put down first interview recording, first webinar recording, I'll make sure that you get it. Make sure I got your email address and everything. I'll make sure that you get that. But I'm telling you, set up a 15-minute call with us, whether you're the person in charge of training or not, or give this webinar recording to the person who selects what training you offer. Because without exception, any talent acquisition team that I have trained fills requisitions much faster, you can't post and pray anymore. It doesn't work. You've got to go out there and recruit those passive candidates. So if you want to include, if any of you are staffing and recruiting companies, this is not for you. This is strictly for talent acquisition, but I do have tutors for staffing. So if you're a staffing company on this line, we also have tutors for you, but this specific tutor was written strictly for talent acquisition professionals. Are there any other questions? Does anybody want to unmute their line and ask me a question? Just unmute, give me your name. I can't believe there's no questions. Okay, here's a question here. Hold on a second. I've got another one. Let's see here. There's another one on everybody's chatting rather than you don't want to talk to me, huh? I'm not going to take that personally, guys. Let's see. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, Barb. I've been struggling with networking on LinkedIn. Sometimes it's very difficult to start the conversation. Do you have any recommendations? Yes. People hate when they get, let me tell you the end mails that people hate. They hate to say, I saw your LinkedIn profile. I have a perfect opportunity. Call me. Because what they're thinking to themselves is, you know nothing about me. I don't want to do what I see. We can't assume that what a person is doing now is what they want to do next, you know, and you can't ask to connect with a person and then immediately try to sell them on something. In fact, those are the only connections I don't accept. All of you connect with me on LinkedIn because I give you a tremendous amount of free information. And sometimes I can unlock a LinkedIn course. Like my course on virtual interviewing was unlocked the whole month of June, but now it's been closed today, you know, for anybody that follows me on LinkedIn. So make sure you're following me. But when you go out there, how I connect with people is I just put down, someone suggested we talk, you know, again, would love to connect. Here's my phone number. When you call me back, interrupt me, you know, and I give them how it's going to benefit them to connect with me. And when if you are reaching out to specific candidates for something, just tell them that someone referred you and you would like to see what they want to do next. Don't pitch a specific job. People are sick and tired of talent acquisition and recruiters pitching jobs. They just ignore it. And they're getting so many. They're getting so many of those calls. And their theory is, you don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do now. You know, we've got to stop selling until we know what's important to the candidate. You know, let's see. Do you have any tips for getting buy-in from the C-level for an employee referral program? Absolutely. All you have to do is tell your C-level executives what it's costing them. The average person that leaves a job, if they've been there less than a year or so, it's 1/3 of their salary. You lose middle management and upper management. It can be their entire salary to replace them, the costs involved. So what you have to let C-level know is that part of the reason that you don't have engagement and retention is the employee referral program is not good. And I'm telling you, every time I've worked on an employee, when I spoke at the CEO conference, guess what they had me speak on? Internal referral program, because a lot of them had heard that I had done some for some companies and they were working really great and it improved engagement and retention. So what your C-suite understands are expenses. They view an employee referral program as an expense originally, like it's going to cost us money. But if they see the return on the investment, that it's going to really improve engagement and retention, and it's going to help you get passive candidates. And if they look at the money you're spending on job boards and all the other things, you know, remember, companies spent $2.5 billion on job boards in 2021. That's a real number. That's not my number. That's LinkedIn's number. Companies spent $2.5 billion on job board ads, and they're not working. They only attract 15% of the workforce. The other 85% is out there. They'll listen to you if you call them, but you know, you can't post and pray. And employee referrals is one of the best way. And also the people that are referring, that engagement and retention. You know, if you could show them the return on investment, I think that's how you approach the C-suite. Or let them listen to this webinar. I've just told you what you need to tell them. Just let them listen to this, and maybe they will do that. You know, maybe they'll see that and that's why I said to everybody when I put this webinar out there, get the people on the call that make the decision of what your referral program is, because it's got to be something that's going to excite people. You know, it's so funny because even candidates that give us referrals, we do an internal trip and we do an external trip. So anybody that refers people to us, we pay for the referral, but they're also entered in a trip. And so, you know, who are they going to refer outside people? They're going to refer somebody to me when they know I'm going to pay for the referral and they have a chance of going somewhere for a trip, or are they going to give it to someone that gives them nothing? Everybody has that tattoo on their forehead. What's in it for me? When you talk to the C-suite, your CEO has that on his forehead. What's in it for me, or her forehead? What's in it for me? Show me how it's going to benefit me. If you can show her how it's going to benefit the company, you know, and show her how the employee referral program is really going to give you a great return on the investment, there's not a CEO out there, even a CFO, that's not going to understand that the return, what they really want is not what it's going to cost. what is the return we're going to get? Whenever you propose anything to anybody, even when I was trying to change interviewing and hiring processes in my last webinar, you've always got to show people how it benefits them, always how it benefits them. And I'm telling you, if you talk to me, you'll see how my tutor can benefit all of you too, because we go into great detail. I gave you an overview, but I can't give you everything I know. But if you invested in our tutor, you can ask me live questions every 2 weeks. Anybody in your organization can ask me live questions every 2 weeks. And so there's a great benefit to that as well. Does anybody else have any questions? Let's see, I see no, I'm getting a bunch of thank yous in chat. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. The reward for me is that you take this information and you use it. There's no power in what I do. I'm glad you all enjoyed this. I'm thrilled, but the power lies within you. It's what are you going to do with the information? What are you going to do with this information when you get back to work? That's what's powerful. Okay. And I certainly hope you email me or that you call my office, and we'll have one of our experts reach out to you. 15 minutes. Let us discuss what's most important to you. I'm going to open it again for a quick question here. We've got like 15 more minutes before the hour is over. Anybody want to unmute and ask me a question? Well, I guess we're going to quit the call now because I don't want to take any more of your valuable time because I respect how busy all of you are. I'm so thrilled you were here today. You will get the recording shortly from me. And happy July 4th holiday. I'm recording this right before the holiday. Drive safely or travel safely if you're traveling. And know how much I appreciate all of you connecting with me and following me on LinkedIn. I appreciate everybody that came here today. So thank you, everybody. And I wish you continued success. Bye.